Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have full review of the Huawei FreeClip. Let's get started. These headphones are completely revolutionary because they have a very strange design, nothing everyday against what we have normally seen in the headphone market, especially within the smartphone brands. Their launch price in Mexico is 3,998 pesos. That's about $235, although remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. In Mexico, they include insurance for loss for 1 year, and they also include a special gift, although this may vary depending on the different regions. So, now that we know their price, how about joining me to know point by point what these headphones can offer us? Let's start by taking a look at the case, which, as you will notice, has a very similar style to the style that Huawei normally has in this type of devices. In this case, I have the black color, but it is also available in purple color. On the front, we have the logo of the brand, plus a small LED indicator of the current status of the headphones. On the back is simply the metal hinge plate, and at the bottom is placed the USB-C port for charging, although they also support wireless charging. On the right side, it is important to note that they do have a button for quick linking to other devices. They have a weight of 45.5 grams, and note how when you open them, the LED shows its current status and does not have any LED inside. Although something curious is that the headphones are able to emit a sound when paired with a device while stored in the case. A solution that I find very good, unlike other Huawei models that include a small speaker in the case to notify when they have been connected to another new device. Note how they also have a good level of magnetic absorption so they don't fall out easily, and obviously having this C-bridge makes it very easy to remove them from the case. Also, none of the headphones go specifically on the left or on the right. Let's say that you can store them in a totally indistinct position, and this makes things much easier because you don't have to be worrying which one goes on the left and which one goes on the right. But let's take these headphones out so we can get a closer look at them. These headphones have a design that could be considered as external. Remember that within the hearing aid market, we have closed design hearing aids that usually have insulating cushions. Then we would have open headphones that go inside the ear but do not have any type of padding. And finally, we could categorize these as external headphones, as you notice how they do not completely cover the ear cavity, so it is completely free. And even Huawei dares to call this as a fashion element because in fact, if it seems suddenly an accessory like an earring, and this proposal has seemed very interesting to me, although there will surely be people who do not like this design, but I definitely consider it innovative. Huawei has called this a C-bridge, and note how it is able to be slightly flexible but at the same time maintain a certain level of memory in order to fit perfectly well in your ear. In fact, in this bridge we find as materials an alloy of nickel and titanium, so it definitely has very good materials for its elaboration, and if you are concerned about the resistance, Huawei ensures that it passed more than 25,000 durability tests, so without a doubt they are headphones that are very well made. Their weight is just 5.6 grams each, and honestly they are quite comfortable, plus they are IP54 certified. So they can perfectly withstand splashes, so you can use them while you are exercising. Although obviously by design they are headphones that are not going to stay exactly in the same place. So if you use them with a lot of activity, it is likely that you will have to be adjusting them from time to time, and this will produce that the sound at times is not completely symmetrical. There are times when one earphone might sound a little louder than another depending on the placement, so adjustment will be important if you want to enjoy completely symmetrical audio. That could be a bit of a challenge if you are very strict in this regard, but because of the type of headphone, I think it's not really aimed at people who want to completely isolate themselves from everything and just enjoy all the details of their music, but more aimed at people who want to listen to something casual, but at the same time still want to hear everything that's going on around them. So it seems to me that the design is completely accurate, considering that Huawei has in its portfolio other headphones with closed style, with open style, with semi-open style, and now these with completely outdoor style. Now let's talk about the controls that we have available with these headphones, and I must say that in this sense it still feels a little short experience, as it supports 2 taps to pause or resume content, or to answer or end a call. These 2 taps can be made on the C bridge or also on some element of the headphone, so with this you gain very good surface to be able to make these taps, and with a triple tap on any of the headphones you will go to the next song. These are the predefined controls, although they can be modified through the application. The application is Huawei AI Live, and if it is compatible even with iPhone, so you should have no problems in that aspect. On iPhone, the application is available in the App Store, although on Android it might be a bit more expensive to install. When you have a call in progress, you can only tell it through the hearing aids to answer or end the call, or simply not to perform any action. But when there is no incoming call, you can change depending on the hearing aid if you want left and right to have a different behavior. You can select between the following actions: play or stop the music, go to the next song, go to the previous song, activate the voice assistant, or definitely nothing. You should know that the voice assistant will be the assistant of your phone. For example, in this case it would call Siri, but if you use Google Assistant on your Android phone, it will also do the same. It does not include its own assistant, but it calls the assistant of your phone. And by tapping 3 times on the headphones, you could also change the behavior, but you only have the options to go to the next song, go to the previous song, or nothing. So there is no way to control the volume with taps. You could only do it with voice commands. So it seems that the controls and gestures section could still be improved with a future update or in its next generation. Let's move on to talk about sound quality, and yes, I am recording the next day, so I have other clothes. These headphones having an exterior design, I think they do not have as a priority to give you maximum clarity in your music. Even so, they have a good quality. Even it calls my attention that it has a good presence of bass frequencies, considering the type of headphone that is, because normally enclosed headphones will be where we will find the greatest presence of bass frequencies, and in open headphones, in many occasions the bass frequencies are lost a lot, and in these that are still placed further out of the ear, one would expect that the bass frequencies are practically not noticed, but in these headphones we do find that presence of bass frequencies, although I insist not as strong as they could be in closed headphones. In fact, in these headphones, the high frequencies could stand out a little more, but through the equalizer that comes in the application, you could select your favorite setting. There are 4 presets available, and in my case, I prefer the preset called Motivation, where we do find a little more power for the bass. In the default setting, I feel that the treble stands out a bit more, but curiously there is a specific setting to enhance the treble and another one to highlight the vocals. As you can see, it does not have any specific multi-band EQ, but since the diaphragm is to project good bass. In addition, they have support for SBC, AAC, and LHC codecs. This last codec is proprietary to Huawei, so if you connect it to a Huawei cell phone, you will be able to enjoy the maximum sound resolution supported by these headphones. However, you can connect them to headphones of other brands, but they will not support this advanced codec. And it is clear that these headphones will not have noise cancellation because its purpose is to keep you aware of everything that is happening around you while you get to listen to music. It's time to test the microphones of these headphones, so below you will hear an audio recorded with these devices.
Esta es una prueba de audio utilizando los Huawei FreeClip sin ningún tipo de ruido adicional.
Obviously, these are microphones focused on capturing voice for calls, nothing studio quality or anything like that. Next, I'm going to put a background noise with ambient sound so you can notice if you manage to reduce that noise or not.
Esta es una prueba de los micrófonos de los Huawei FreeClip teniendo un ruido considerable de fondo para ver si se detecta mi voz.
We can confirm that the headphones do have a noise cancellation system for calls in order to correctly detect the voice. Next, we are going to put a background noise with ambient sound at an exaggeratedly high volume to have the most extreme test.
Esta es una prueba extrema con un ruido ultra alto de fondo utilizando los Huawei FreeClip.
Even in this extreme test, you can distinguish what I'm saying, although obviously it is much more difficult, but the noise volume was exaggeratedly high, and honestly the headphones do an excellent job. Next, let's talk about the battery that, like any device, can be very variable depending on the type of user you are, but officially Huawei shares that would give us about 8 hours of playback, obviously in an intermediate volume and using the AAC codec. And if you consider the charging case, you could get up to 36 hours of playback. I think that in headphones, the battery is never an issue that makes you suffer too much. So with a while that you keep them in the case, you could perfectly well continue your music session. In fact, the headphones take about 40 minutes to charge when they are completely discharged and you put them back in their case. On the other hand, the case can take about an hour to charge via cable and about 150 minutes to charge wirelessly, so the battery shouldn't be any kind of problem to be able to use and enjoy these headphones. Next, let's talk about the connection they have. They come with Bluetooth 5.3 and obviously they don't have Google Fast Pair, so you couldn't easily pair them to Android devices, but obviously you can pair them if you go to the Bluetooth device list and initiate the manual connection. But if you have a Huawei, obviously the connection is going to be much easier because you just open the case nearby so that the device detects it and you can easily initiate the connection, even with a very nice animation of the headphones. Obviously, you can also connect them to iOS devices without a problem, but the connection again has to be manual step by step. Where you will find easy pairing is on Windows computers, as they do have Microsoft Swift Pair. So if you have your laptop nearby and uncover the hearing aids, the dialog box will also appear to initiate the connection very easily. In addition, these headphones can be connected to 2 devices simultaneously, and they do not necessarily have to be Huawei devices. For example, they can be connected to my cell phone and my tablet, and the exchange between these devices should be completely easy. But if you have a Huawei device with the recent operating system, you could even connect 2 pairs of headphones to it so that with your partner or with some friends you can listen to music or watch some movies or videos, each with their 2 headphones to have a very good experience at the time of playback. Finally, let's talk about latency. Huawei devices have a feature called dynamic latency to automatically detect when you enter a game and activate a low latency mode, and when you are out of the game it will give more priority to the sound quality. But if we use iOS devices or Android devices, the setting will need to be activated manually. That is, before entering a game, in the control application, you must select that you want the low latency mode. Obviously, with Huawei devices, we will have the lowest latency possible, and with devices from other brands, it can vary a lot depending on the quality of your device. But next, we are going to test with high-end devices, so this would be the lowest latency we could achieve. Finally, in the app, you can see the current battery status of both the case and the headphones, change the sound equalization, change the gestures and how the controls work, as well as locate your headphones by emitting a sound or even also through a map in case you use a Huawei cell phone. If you use an iPhone or an Android, you probably won't be able to locate through a map your hearing aids. And finally, these hearing aids can receive software updates, so they might improve in the future or change some things I said in this video. In the settings section, you can tell it whether or not you want the sensor to work to pause or resume music when you put on or take off the headphones. Also available here is the low latency setting that in Huawei phones will appear as automatic latency, and as I had already anticipated, the headphones are automatically able to switch between the left and right earphone, but if you do not want that to happen, so you could also disable it. For the moment, this has been all regarding these Huawei headphones. Let me know in the comments what you think of this proposal. If you liked the video, you know you can let me know, and we'll see you next time.